femininity or an intuitive. I'm going to say my name though. My name is Nicole Lisa, love coach, femininity, and intuitive, right? I've been doing this work for 12 years, and I'm going to share with you why you might feel that you are invisible, and I'm going to share with you why you're not. Because you're somebody that has achieved a lot of success in life, right? And you're wondering, why is it that men are not choosing me? Why is it that my tribe or my people are not choosing me? Maybe you're speaking or sending out a signal, a vibration to the wrong person. Okay? Let's start with that. You might be in an energy of trying hard or forcing something to happen. And if you really want results, then I invite you to join my programs where I'm going to help you reprogram your nervous system. I have a program called Scene that is helping you ooze that magnetism and attract the right people. And also, I'm also doing a program on anger where I'm going to clear all the different ways you feel invisible and the anger that you have associated that keeps you stuck in that pattern. Both programs are extremely legit. They're the best of their kind because you will see results as before you finish the program. You will start to see people see you. You will attract a new type of clientele, new people. They will help you up level your life like nothing you've ever done. I promise you this, okay? I'm a no fluff type of person. I'm an engineer too, so I should say that. So I'm going to share with you why is it that you feel invisible. The real truth is because 85% of the time as women, we learn to attach our worth to somebody or to something or to an accolade. Maybe you attach your worth to men, to your age, to how you look, to your ethnicity. Maybe you attach your worth to money, to the amount of money that you make in a year. And in 2025, it's time to collapse, destroy, completely obliterate, just release that from your life. The archetype or the paradigm of you identifying or connecting or attaching your worth to something outside of you. That's why you feel maybe empty. That's why you feel like men are not choosing you. And that's why maybe you envy women that are getting, I hear, all the attention. But the thing is, some women might feel like they need to become like that woman in order to get attention, right? Some might hate that idea and resist it and rebel. But those are surface level answers. That's why we have the quote unquote energy of the pick me. I do believe that that energy deserves love. Although if it goes too far, that woman, hello there, I'm glad that this is connecting with you. That woman might just not listen to any kind of feedback because she doesn't recognize herself. She has an absence of self where she doesn't choose herself, and therefore she doesn't feel like she's ever going to be chosen, and it's just like the dark, deep end of that frequency. But if you can hear me, you can clear it, okay? All right, so you have on one end the woman that goes full in and needing to become somebody else, and that can be dangerous. And then you have the other woman that resists that idea that she has to be a specific size, she has to look a certain way, she has to do X, Y, or Z. And maybe that woman sometimes out of, in some ways, reaction becomes either super nerdy, super intellectual, super successful, and she has an edge to her. Now, if you're that woman and you're still not getting the attention that you deserve, hello there, I'm glad that this is connecting with you, then here's what you need to do. Full point blank. You work on your energy, because that moment in energy in your life where you decided I'm not going to be chosen, I have to be either something that I don't like, or you reacted and you said, well, I'm going to be the total opposite of maybe something that you secretly want. Maybe you want somebody to love on your body. Maybe you want somebody to compliment your looks and not just like your mind, or vice versa. Okay. You disown that desire and you split. What I want you to understand is that in that moment, you told your frequency that we're not going to be loved for who we are. Okay? And that can create a lot of rage. It can create a lot of anger. And what I want you to know is that frequency and your emotions matter. Your emotions attract more so than your thoughts. And in many cases, your decisions based off of those thoughts. If you suppress that pain or that hurt that you felt like people were going to choose you, or that life was going to be difficult, or that people were untrustworthy, or that men were superficial, or that you had to dumb down, these are the things that I'm accessing as an intuitive. If you felt that you had to dumb down, that people weren't going to, pick up your vibe, like your magnetism. People weren't going to pick up all that you were about, the fullness of you, the richness of you. Okay. If you really felt that, then you have to undo that point in consciousness, because what really attracts is what you're feeling, even if it's suppressed, not what you're thinking. And that moment was so painful, you could have disassociated. It could have made you incredibly angry, right? And disappointed. And it could have kept you in a lull, a codependent lull, where you keep being in the surface level, being angry at the man, or saying, or thinking that you're above the man, or having disdain for the man, or for the people who don't see you. Because this is not just about love, this is about business and career. Okay. And you are in that lull, like, oh, people are kind of like below me or beneath me. They don't see me. You know what I mean? And, F them is what I hear. But secretly, like, you're crying and you want to be seen, and you feel like you are this really great, amazing woman, but you're not meeting your tribe. You're not meeting the men or the people that actually see you. Then I would invite you to clear that emotional reaction. Sorry, I was receiving a call. So I would clear that emotional reaction, because it is necessary for you to actually allow yourself to be seen. The anger that you have towards people, the anger that you have at life, that moment in time where you felt like life was going to be unfair and people weren't going to notice your melanated skin color, you felt like people weren't going to love your hair, that moment where you felt not seen to the core, and that you wouldn't be from your being. Okay. Now, with that being said, the other thing that I want to say is you're that powerful. Okay. You don't chase a man. When you split and when you don't clear on this energy, you are actually in a chaser energy and you don't realize it, even if you're not seeing anyone there around you. And I'm glad that this is connecting. So, as women, with our emotional capacity, we attract. And this is when we can unintentionally block what we want, because we don't feel like we're going to be seen. Okay. So I would invite you to release that from your nervous system that addresses your emotional, like your emotions. Okay. So that you are sending out a different vibration and you're not chasing. You're not depleting yourself in angst and anger, listening to podcasts about how men are X, Y, or Z, or why people are this. Typically, there's a lot of judgment, a lot of anger that I'm not telling you to bypass. This is important to release it, because the energy of being loved is really core to your personal identity as a woman. And that's why it requires a time and a nurturing to work at it at the level of your nervous system. It does make a difference. Your nervous system runs through the entirety of your body, and it will basically adhere to tell your body and your mind to chill and to accept love. There's no need for competition. There's no need for jealousy. There's no need for one-upping. It's right, safe, and good for you to feel good, for you to choose yourself without the anger, the rage, the frustration, the pain, without getting angry at the world. So that's why I created Seen, and I also created Clear Anger, because I've seen that anger is actually one of the biggest things that blocks manifestations. And you, in that program, you're getting angel attunement, angelic attunement. It's like Reiki, where we're gonna work on like the prana, the energy that you have in your aura. We're gonna cleanse that. Whatever you're sending out, that frequency is like Wi-Fi. Okay. And we're also going to work at the level of your nervous system, so that your nervous system trusts love and being seen, and it's not getting stuck in anger or in fright or fear. Now, anger covers the top 17 beliefs that make people angry. It's a program that's going to cover anger around money and your reality around money. It's going to cover your reality around love. It's going to cover your reality around dating. And it's going to clear up any anger that you have towards yourself. In other words, it's going to clear wherever you feel like life has been unfair, or we're going to secretly release any expectations of life being unfair and program in the positive. Hello? Program in the exact positive, where life is super fair for you. You're like an incredibly lucky woman. You manifest with ease and with no angst, okay? And then in Seen, we're going to clear specifically attached to love, all the anger that you have around associating, well, first of all, of attaching your worth to people, to things, to accolades, releasing any chaser energy, and helping you truly be the queen that you are and attract the attention that you deserve with ease. All right, so the links are below, and I would love to see you there, and let me know in the comment section what you believe about this. Now, because disbelief has to do with being invisible, I did pick up intuitively that some of you are going to lurk. You know what I mean? Lurking keeps that vibration in. Comment, ask questions. I can help. I'm not going to bite. You know what I mean? Because you're an epic woman. And when you're lurking, you're not trusting. And then you're therefore perpetrating or creating or co-creating this energy of never being seen, because you're either hurt, you went apathetic, you don't want to share, you don't want to be seen, but that's also a choice point you're making, right? And what I don't want for you is that I've worked with a lot of people who only work on themselves when they're about to throw in the towel. Don't let that be you. All right. Let yourself be seen. Start the year strong, or by the end of the year or before the end of the year, attract your man. And you can really do it if you really shift this core blueprint around. This is different than any programs you've done, because it's going to go to the core. And if you're willing to let go of the angst and the rage or the pain of not being seen and just let that occur, then I would love to guide you there. I do get that for some of you, and this is not how I was planning to do this video, receiving this message from me can ignite some anger, because the anger says, if I receive it from her, then, I'm a failure. You're receiving a message from another woman. And that's the other element that I wanted to address here. When you attach your word to something, you're never a failure to start, right? But that's what you're running away from. That's what that's why you suppress the belief, because you feel like if you don't attach it to something, then you might be a failure. The simple fact that you felt like you had to attach your worth to an accolade, okay, or to your looks, you are making, like, you believe that people are only going to want you for a superficial matter. And you're running away from a belief of feeling or expecting to be a failure, and you never want to be a failure. So for you, that's one of the reasons why you lurk. It's one of the reasons why you stay silent, why you don't comment, you don't do really anything. You're in a cycle of hiding. And there's the degrees to that, like, but somewhere you're feeling a failure in comparison to another woman, okay? But what you don't realize is that a lot of men who are predators, the men that are not good, they use it against you because they know that about you. And while you are there suppressing it and feeling like a man doesn't know it, he would use it against you, okay? So never feel a failure to another woman in your life, right? There are safe women out there. There are safe men out there, okay? I just want you to know that if you keep that lurking cycle, that's what you're secretly fearing. And then it's like you fear yourself. You're not fully trusting yourself to be loved for who you are. Change that pattern today. We will address that in the program. Just face the fear. One of the things that really helped me when I first started this was clearing the belief that, well, the one thing that excited me was like, fear is just excitement with the brakes on. And I decided to alchemize the fear into excitement. Feel and tap it into the excitement of actually really being seen and being loved for who you are. I'm glad that this is connecting. Feel into the excitement of being seen by your tribe, by the people that actually get you. Feel the love around that and take a couple steps forward so that the people can see you. And if you experience trauma, then this program is for you, because I can help you. If you have anxious attachment style, if you have an ambivalent or avoidant, I can help you with that. Typically, avoidant people are the ones that have this thing of receiving feedback from another woman. It means that they're a failure. But it can go in between, and it's not real. So you're walking around with this giant wound and this giant lie, thinking that you have to be perfect to be loved. Let's fix that, all right? Now, as an intuitive, and a healer that works with the angels, I help you transmute all these things at different planes of existence, like your aura, right? I help you cleanse it out of your chakras effectively, and I also help it release it out of your nervous system. Okay, I'm an engineer. That's why I work at different planes, to help you release it. I promise to be a safe space for you and to help you shift it, and for this to be one of the most, if not the most effective work you've ever done for yourself. so that you can experience happiness, joy, true bliss, and to not settle for something that you don't want. Invisibility, or being with somebody that you don't like, or not reaching to your ideal audience and whatever that is. Your dreams are yours for a reason, okay? And you need to alchemize whatever is getting in the way of you truly being seen. All right. I love you. Sending you much love. And if you'd like to join, the information is below. And we have an intro call for anger next week. And we seen it starting in a couple weeks as well. So this is a perfect opportunity